afternoon. This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. My name is Bulus Joanari. Many thanks for joining us at this time. The top stories. President Tinubu tasked African defense chiefs on common security architecture. NANS vows critical assets shut down over ASU strike threats. ECOWAS to raise $2.5 billion for 260,000 man counter-terrorism force. Details coming up shortly. Stay with us. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on African defense chiefs to abandon fragmented security responses and commit to building a common defense architecture capable of confronting the continent's escalating security crisis. Tinubu stated this during the opening of the Made in African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025 in Abuja yesterday, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, warned that the scale and complexity of Africa's challenges are too vast for one nation to tackle alone. He, however, proposed the creation of a permanent African Chiefs of Defense Staff Forum, which he said will institutionalize dialogue, foresight, and operational coordination among military leaders across the continent. Such a forum, he said, will ensure African defense institutions speak with one voice and act with one purpose, transforming cooperation into a lasting commitment rather than a one-off event. Meanwhile, the National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened to shut down critical infrastructure nationwide if the federal government fails to meet the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which has again warned of a possible nationwide strike. NAN's Assistant General Secretary Emmanuel Adejoun, in an interview with the media on Monday in Abuja, expressed deep concern over ASU's latest threat, vowing that the union will mobilize Nigerian students for massive nationwide protest that will shut down roads, airports, government offices, and official infrastructure. Adejoun stressed that only the children of the masses are negatively impacted by the ASU strike, saying this strike must not be allowed to happen. In the meantime, the Economic Community of West African States has announced plans to activate a 260,000-strong rapid deployment counterterrorism brigade with an annual funding requirement of $2.5 billion. President of the Commission, Omar Toure, disclosed this at the 2025 African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit in Abuja with the theme Combating Contemporary Threats to Regional Peace and Security in Africa, the role of strategic defense collaboration. Toure, represented by ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Ambassador Edel Fatel Musa, said the funds would be used to activate the brigade, provide logistics, and offer financial support to frontline states battling terrorism. He stressed that the Sahel had become the epicenter of global terrorism, accounting for 51% of related deaths worldwide in 2024, and warned that the growing threats demand an urgent and coordinated continental response. You're still watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, capital formation key to $1 trillion goal, CIS tells FG. Details of this headline and more news content after a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and on to business matters. The Chartered Institutes of Stockbrokers has called on the federal government to implement urgent economic reforms to reposition Nigeria's capital market as a key driver for achieving the country's $1 trillion economic target. In a statement made available to the media on Monday, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers said the call follows a one-day workshop held at the State House Conference Center at Aso Rock, Abuja, themed Capital Formation in Nigeria, empowering industry, institutions, and markets to drive a $1 trillion economy. The Institute urged deliberate and coordinated actions to deepen capital formation across all sectors, and according to the statement jointly signed by CIS President and Chairman of the Council, Oluropo Dada, and Registrar and Chief Executive Ayorinde Adeonipekun, the federal government must lead strategic coordination among market players to harmonize fiscal, trade, and monetary policies to boost investor confidence and attract long-term capital. On the foreign scene, Asian stocks retreated Tuesday after U.S. President Donald Trump's series of market-rattling announcements, including an unusual move to fire a central bank official and threats to impose export controls on microchips. The traders had been riding a wave of confidence since Friday's speech by U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, which suggested coming interest rate cuts in the world's largest economy. But the upward flurry appeared to die on Monday on Wall Street as attention turned back to the week's earnings report from AI chip giant Nvidia, a bellwether for the industry as concerns over a tech bubble mount. Asian markets notched mostly moderate losses on Tuesday, tracking drops made by the previous day in New York and in Europe. And for sports news, let's join Aroko Tom.
Hey, I'm Aroko Tom, and this is your P&B Sports News. Arsenal sent out a strong title message yesterday at the Emirates. The Gunners trashed Leeds United 5-0 in a dominant display of attacking football. Their confidence was clear as they outclassed their opponents from start to finish. At Craven Cottage, Manchester United and Fulham shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Both teams had their chances, but neither could pull ahead late on. While in the Nigerian Premier Football League, newly promoted Barao FC continues to grab headlines. Founded just over a year ago, June 2024, the Kano-based club is privately owned by Deputy Senate President Barao Jibrin. They pulled over 16,000 fans in their first ever NPFL home match against Eimba FC, a historic turnout for a new side. While in rugby, South Africa kicked off their 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup campaign in style. The Springbok women crushed debutants Brazil 66-6, their first World Cup win since 2010. Well, that's your sports update. I'm Aroko Tom. Stay tuned for more right here on P&B Sports.
That wraps up today's program, but before we go, the headlines again. President Tinubu tasked African defense chiefs on common security architecture. NANS vows critical assets shut down over ASU strike threat. And ECOWAS to raise $2.5 billion for 260,000 man counter-terrorism force. From me, Bulus Joanna Ray, it's bye for now.